Alrighty, Zach. It's been quite a while since we've recorded one of these.
It has. It's been a whole 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks? It might have been 3, actually.
Maybe. I lose track of time.
I do too. Well, without further ado, I am Nazir TL, otherwise known as Jacob. I am here with my co-host Zach, otherwise known as Pixelated Trash, and this is the FluffyBiscuits podcast. Here to bring you some cool news, some gaming stuff, and some random topics that we haven't decided on yet. Or maybe we have. You'll never know.
I have something to start off with. I
Alrighty.
found a Portuguese-made...
Starting strong.
I don't know how to describe it without... Let's say it's a game... It's a not legitimate game for your Super PS2. It's a ROM hack. Anyway, and it is called Anime Hero 5. It's obviously based on Guitar Hero in some way. And I'm going to link it to you. But trust me, nothing you see on this site is going to do a good enough job of explaining to you how buck wild this game is.
Naruto and Super Saiyan 4 Goku are on the cover.
And also, if anybody knows of the show Saint Seiya, he's on there too.
Oh, I know that random guy. That's from a manga that Khaled always tries to get me.
Yeah, I don't know that guy on the left. That's the only one I don't know. But yeah, if you look through the song list, you'll see that there's Saint Seiya, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto Shippuden, all kinds of songs from all these animes. Also, though, the A to Z, the One Piece, you still do a guitar battle against Tom Morello like you did in Guitar Hero 3. And it's pretty freaking great.
This is a lot of songs.
Well, hey, here's the spoiler. You don't have to pay licensing fees when you're doing it illegally, so it doesn't matter if you pay. So I guess those makes you on in there.
What the fuck? It's literally just like Osu, but for Guitar Hero. Because all Osu is a bunch of like K-pop and anime intros.
Yeah. But honestly, it runs really well. It's actually really fun. They didn't do much to change like the characters in the game. But this is a whole series, though. Actually, if you look at the related games at the bottom, you'll see the other 4. But yeah, this is some dude in Portugal that's just been making these for quite a while. And yeah, they're all filled to the brim with just like every anime song you've ever heard of.
Trey, one of my friends who streams, was telling us last night how we were because we were talking about streaming Sea of Thieves the next time we play.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, Trey, you should stream too," because he occasionally turns on his stream when he plays like WoW or Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
And one time he was streaming Fire Emblem, and there's this one guy that always had joined him for like the short time he had streamed it.
Yeah.
And that guy was making a Fire Emblem ROM hack and sent Trey the early version of it.
That's funny.
I was like,
I have
wow.
a couple Fire Emblem ROM hacks. I actually think some of them are really good.
Yeah, when like Trey is a Fire Emblem fiend. When the first time I ever got him drunk was at like my 21st birthday party.
Yeah,
and I just kept giving him whiskey. Yeah, he just
went on about
listed
Fire
all
Emblem.
the Fire Emblem stats.
Yeah. Don't worry,
It's such a
people.
Trey
We
thing
will
to do.
continue to say the same 5 stories between the two of us over and over and over again.
Well, that one's iconic. I've only played a handful of Fire Emblem, but I found it insanely easy, I'm gonna be honest. So I never really...
I think that Fire Emblem is probably my favorite, like, strategy game of that type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably second would be Final Fantasy Tactics. Was always a big Final Fantasy Tactics fan. But yeah, definitely that's probably the only game Nintendo makes that I care enough about that I would want the console for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The
Like
okay.
You go ahead.
I was gonna lead off on like a tangent similar to this. Okay, so Xbox bought, like, Microsoft bought Activision, right?
Yes.
So they bought Activision, and then, like,
Who ironically themselves, didn't they buy Blizzard earlier before they got bought by Microsoft? Because it's Activision Blizzard. Did they get merged by Microsoft, or did they buy them before they went to Microsoft?
I'm not sure on that. But
looking
what
it
I
up.
do know is that the costs of, like, buying Activision, or, like, whatever they did to it was huge. And Activision doesn't make a ton of money, right? Like, they probably used to, but they don't now. So, like, what they made since they were bought does not make up for the cost that Microsoft spent to buy them. So what me and my friend Randall were talking yesterday, and he's like deep into this lore, so he's telling me all about it. He goes, so what I think Microsoft's trying to do is they're trying to get all the Call of Duty games on Game Pass, because if you get it on Game Pass, it might push people to just get the newer console and then get Game Pass, because Game Pass doesn't make money unless it has like a certain number of subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it would help get more, like, a newer console. And he was like, I don't see the demographic that would do that though. And I go, okay, well, here's the demographic. You have a dad that's our age that wants to play Call of Duty, and that's all he ever plays, because that's what he grew up playing. And then you have kids that don't play Call of Duty. They play fucking, I don't know, Power World or whatever the equivalent is on Xbox, you know? And so the dad doesn't want to upgrade because he has a huge game library for the previous console.
Yeah.
That's the demographic. So he's like, fuck it. I'll just get a new console and Game Pass. I'll have the game I want, and the kids will have, like, whatever games they get.
Yeah. I feel that.
And he was like, oh, okay. But it's funny because Activision isn't, like, making enough money to make up for the cost Microsoft paid for them. That's kind of what they've pivoted to, is to kind of try to make Call of Duty somewhat exclusive or better to get on Xbox with that sort of deal with Game Pass, so it undercuts Sony, and we just think it's kind of funny. Or
That's
interesting.
Yeah, I have the PlayStation Premium thing where you get, like, a game catalog. It's not as in-depth as Game Pass, but there's a lot of cool stuff on there. In fact, they just put Dredge on there, so I'm going to finally try that. But to go back to what we were saying, so Blizzard used to be owned by Vivendi Games. Vivendi Games merged with Activision, and then Activision renamed its gaming thing to Activision Blizzard. Like that's how their title goes. So basically, they technically bought Blizzard before Microsoft bought them.
Yeah. Alrighty. That makes sense. It makes sense, like, in a weird way, I guess.
Also, Activision Blizzard actually owns, obviously, Activision Studios, Activision Publishing, Blizzard Entertainment, but Major League Gaming? I didn't know that.
MLG.
I know, they own MLG. They also own something called King Digital Entertainment, which I've never heard of. But it's been around since 2002. 3. Either way. Hold on, I gotta figure out what these people make, because now I'm fascinated. Oh! They make Candy Crush.
Okay.
That's all I needed to know. Yep, that's what they do. Okay. Yeah, that's why
because
they make so
we
much
started
money.
talking about PlayStation, the new God of War Ragnarok will go to PC soon. And if you remember anything about our last episode or episodes that we recorded, we were just talking about how Helldivers had that whole PSN account thing where we basically the community forced them to take that back.
Okay.
Two things. Did you know that even though Sony took back the whole PSN account thing, it did not fix the problem, and everyone still thinks it did?
Okay.
I don't know if I mentioned this part,
No.
but upon banning, so when they said they were going to use PSN, link players' accounts to PSN.
Link it in. Link me in.
A bunch of countries could not make PSN accounts, and Steam banned those countries from buying Helldivers at that point, right? Meaning that people in those countries that had already bought Helldivers spent all that money and wouldn't be able to play it after the PSN account update happened. That update has not been reversed. And from multiple game devs, they have said it's just they just have to go into their Steam thing and click a button. That's all that Sony has to do.
That part, I remember that. Yeah,
but they don't do it. So they've still banned all those gamers that have bought Helldivers, and everyone in the community thinks that that it's fixed.
Sorry, sorry about that. My phone was not on silent like I thought it was, and it just started going berserk.
So that's the thing. But with God of War Ragnarok, before it even came out, they have already announced that it will require a PSN account. They're like, we're not going to deal with this anymore. It will require it. And I think because a lot of players over the years have swapped to computer, PC gaming.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to deal with maybe they want to try and get people on PC to pay to play online games through a PSN account, because why else would they have it?
That's
why do I need a PSN account? It's sort of the same aspect of Netflix got big, and then everyone was like, oh shit, let's make our own subscription based service, and now it's just become live cable again.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, my granddad just switched to having Fubo, I think it's called, and Netflix instead of paying for cable anymore. And he was like, well, it saves me $30, I guess. That's cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, with all those services is that it's always that fucking obnoxious shit of oh, well, this... I have to get this service because there's one singular movie that I can't find anywhere else. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Oh, God.
A lot of the times, the exclusives, once you watch them, they're not too great. Let's be honest.
Oh, I don't care about the exclusives. I'm talking about, older movies that, I want to see or I want to rewatch. It's one service will have the rights to it, so it's not on any of the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No one even thinks about going to a Redbox anymore, I don't think.
Me and my girlfriend used to go to Redbox all the time. They literally took the one we went to out.
Is Redbox still a thing?
It is. Well, at least it was up until 5 days ago for me.
Okay, okay. Because I haven't seen one around here in a while, so I do wonder if people were just fuck it, we're just going to get Netflix around here. Which makes a little bit of sense, because people don't want to drive really far to go get a movie and then have to take it back.
Let me see.
I also think a lot of people in my area make bad financial decisions.
That's fair.
Oh my God. I saw a Cybertruck in real life for the first time the other day. And it was wrapped. It had pearlescent, it had the Splatoon colors. So it was green and pink, and it was wrapped. It was so great. It was so dumb, but I'm like, damn. You got a green and pink Cybertruck? I'd get that because of how dumb it looks.
Oh my God, is that true? Hold on. I first off, yes, I agree. I found something amazing if that's true. Hold on.
For audio listeners, he is typing furiously, and he looks like the Elmo smacking the table.
They do. Holy fuck. Do you know who owns Redbox?
Is it Netflix?
No. No, it's way wilder than that.
Who owns it?
It's Chicken Soup for the Soul.
What?
Like the book series, Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment owns Redbox.
I don't know what that is.
You've never... Oh, man. It's like these two, like, BS motivational speakers started writing these books called... They started called Chicken Soup for the Soul, but now there's... I mean, Jesus. Yeah, I'm looking at a list. There's over 100 now. But it's like, you got Chicken Soup for the Soul, Entrepreneur Soul, Chicken Soup for the Soul, Empty Nesters, Chicken Soup for Every Mom's Soul. And basically, it's like, it's motivational books, right?
Yeah.
They've been around forever, and the first one was just like a fucking gigantic hit. But no, they own Redbox. That's so. They also own Crackle TV.
Yeah, the Apollo Asset Management also owns Redbox with them.
Oh.
Like it's the two parent companies.
Apollo. I can only find Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment listed as their parent company.
If I just Google who owns Redbox, those two things pop up.
Huh, that's weird. Oh well.
But
yeah, that is... Apollo... Oh, wait, here we go. Throughout most of 2016, parent company Ottawa was seeking a buyer based on the blah, blah, blah. Ottawa was sold to Apollo. It's 3 units. Let's see. Yeah, so... Yeah. You're right.
they just own a bunch of random shit, it looks like.
Oh, no, I see. No, Chicken Soup for the Soul bought it from Apollo in 2022 for $375 million, which
Okay,
sucks.
that's even crazier that they have that much, honestly.
Because that's wild, though, because even their 2020 revenue was $546 million, and their operating income was $114 million. So they were not making back that investment. Also,
Apparently Redbox
Coinstar
has its own subscription thing for on-demand movies.
Well, I mean, I guess you better do something, considering that you seem to be losing money every year since 2020.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of free movies you could watch on their thing.
Oh, that's wild. I'm trying to figure out... Yeah, I was trying to figure out if, like, something was going wrong with Chicken Soup. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. On April 23rd, 2024, Chicken Soup for the Soul announced a $636.6 million loss in 2023 and warned that without any other options to generate additional financing, the company would be forced to liquidate or pause operations and seek a potential Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So that might explain why Redbox is going downhill. Because the fucking parent company's not doing so hot.
Made bad financial decisions. That makes sense. Makes sense. So, Zach, I have a question for you.
Go ahead. That was a
When
fun
are you
tangent.
going to continue your fucking Sunhaven series? I was getting it mixed up. I was about to say Stardew.
Stardew. No, soon. I finally have time. A lot of shit came up in the last couple of weeks. That's why there wasn't an episode last week. But, yes, I finally have time. I mean, even today I might start going ahead and listing scheduling the other episodes, because I still have like 7 episodes that I haven't even released, so.
Nice. I was just curious for me and the viewers who can go watch those.
That is fair.
I also need to record some more Baldur's Gate. I'm at the very end of it. Finally. It's taken me like a year.
You've literally been doing that since we started this podcast.
Yeah, I have. I have been doing that.
And this is episode like 33, so that's 33 weeks at least. Not
That's
to mention
because-
any breaks.
Well, you've noticed this. The way I like to play games is I play them for like a few days and then I just don't play them for like a month or two.
No, I feel that. Yeah.
So, but
I'm kind of the same way.
to be fair, like it's not like I haven't stopped uploading. It's just I
Yeah.
don't need to have more episodes ready until July.
No,
So.
I feel that.
Skull and Bones has a free weekend, which we all were very hyped for in the beginning, but we have since decided it is not worth anything.
Yeah, I have not played it myself, but I've seen it played in person. I do not like it. It's like it's exactly the wrong thing. Like it's the exact like bad decision to make for like a game.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's like Sid Meier's Pirates came out in like 2004, and that's been better than any pirate game except maybe Black Flag. That's come
Here's
out.
the thing, is that this this fighting sense for Skull and Bones, because like they let down what they promised, right? It was going to be like a Sea of Thieves kind of thing, which it's fun, but it's like Sea of Thieves is based on the people you play with. If you don't play with the right people, it's not really that fun.
Yeah.
The gameplay for this was supposed to be more Sea of Thieves style, but they went back on that, and because they were kind of like they promised to release it, they had already signed deals and stuff. They basically just ripped the pirate gameplay from Black Flag.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but yeah.
Yeah, it I know for a fact it lost money.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
well known that it like cuz I think it was what like a yeah, let me look right here. Yeah, the game reportedly cost 200 million in a decade-long development cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely lost money. It does not entice me, but it does have a free weekend going on right now. So, if people wanted to play it. Well, you know what? It won't even be worth it because...
This was the game that douchebag said was going to be the first quadruple A game. I forgot about that. The CEO of Ubisoft.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, he said he justified the $70 price tag of Skull and Bones, emphasizing its status as the first quadruple A game.
Well, to be fair, like all Call of Duties are like $70 right now.
Well, I know, but he was like, I guess at the time they were, this is right when everything was starting to get to the $70 mark.
Yeah,
because now
I do like
at the $70 mark.
I like how people made a fuss over that, but then Call of Duty's like, oh, it's $70, and no one even like questioned it. They were like, oh, I guess it's $70 now. I didn't hear any uproar on that.
What the hell? It was announced in early 2019 that Ubisoft is partnering with Atlas Entertainment to adapt Skull and Bones into a television show. It's set to be executive produced by a bunch of people I don't know. And, okay, that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Who is Atlas Entertainment?
I don't know. It sounds familiar, though.
They do all the, like... They work on all those, like, DC movies, like Justice League from 2017.
Well, they did Oppenheimer.
Did they do Oppenheimer, really? Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, they did the Uncharted movie. The Suicide Squad, yeah, so...
Interesting choice.
Oh, they did the 12 Monkeys TV show. I love 12 Monkeys, the movie. I've never seen the TV show, but I love the 12 Monkeys. Oh, they did 12 Monkeys, the movie, too, in 1995. Whoops. It's a great movie. About, like, a plague wipes out humanity, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has, like, live underground. And also, I think there's like a nuclear winter or something, too. It's like you can't breathe the air outside. So one guy has to go back in time to, like, time travel to try to, like, stop it. And it's played by Bruce Willis. And he goes back in time, and because he, like, is desperately trying to stop all this, everybody thinks he's insane, so he literally gets locked in a insane asylum. And it's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. If I'm not mistaken, I think Brad Pitt's in it, too. Yeah, he plays the other crazy person that like helps him break out.
Well, I do have a few things that I just want to like roll over as like gaming news, but I don't want to like go in depth about them. One, Helldivers 2, like the boss of them apparently turns to the community and asks the community for a new stratagem, which is cool. Stratagems are like the support things you can call in. They're like your special abilities. Then we have one of Larian Studios' next games has the codename Excalibur, which sounds kind of cool, but no one really knows what it is. So hopefully that'll be cool, because Larian always makes great games.
Well, they mostly make great games.
What games do they make that isn't good?
Have you ever actually played any of the original Divinities?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand those early 2000 Divinities, man. The story's like
it's
bunk,
just,
and the gameplay is like, because I can play games that haven't aged well, gameplay wise and stuff. It's so dull. It's like I can go back to like the first like Diablo and get a little into. I don't care for it that much, but I can go back for it and get a little bit out of it. Those are Divinities, man.
Well,
but Divinity
That's
Dragon
so
Commander,
strange.
Divinity Original Sin, and Divinity Original Sin 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 are all fantastic games.
yeah.
But those early Divinities were rough.
There's also apparently a Warzone collaboration with Fallout was leaked.
Oh, that's fair.
That's cool. I love Warzone. I like battle royale type games, so that's cool. What is this? That is not good. Apparently, the Valorant stuff.
That is good.
The Valorant boss has announced new measures to crack down on toxic players, which is kind of crazy because Valorant is all toxic. Is going to get rid of like 70% of his fan base.
Also, here's the thing. What? How do I say?
What classifies as toxic?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. How do you decide what? Because like for instance, you and I could be playing a game, just the two of us. Maybe we're on like I'll even pick a game that I know has like voice locality, like Rust, for instance, right? And we're just talking in the server, right?
Yeah.
And you do something and like fuck something up, and I'm just like ragging on you for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the thing gonna cut? He's like, you called him an idiot. You have to go to the timeout chair.
Well, I'm not quite sure. Let me skim through this. I believe so I believe if you like report someone in Valorant, typically it can grab like the voice log, like the in-game chats and stuff like that.
I see.
And they'll go through it, and it's a system that automatically scans it. But apparently the way their system works is it's like up until now, apparently the only like the most egregious things being said have been picked up by it. The rest of it's just like fair game.
Oh, I got you.
So they're working to sort of like hammer out, but it's probably specific words like how we can go in our Twitch chat, our comments, and ban words from being used and stuff like that. They're probably attempting to do a similar thing, but it's probably a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They have specifically said they don't. At the end of this article, it says Riot has no interest in cracking down on banter.
Yeah,
So,
I feel.
But I will say the Valorant community, there's a lot of like really cool and chill people in there, but if you go into ranked, like any other competitive game, it is a cesspool of people thinking they're the best, even though they're in bronze. The lowest rank, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just interesting.
Hey, just
I
out of
love
curiosity,
seeing
off
all
the top
these
of your head,
people.
do you know who owns Riot?
No.
Tencent.
Oh, I should have said that because I did actually know that. God damn it.
They own like fucking like
Everything.
They also own Paradox. Did you know that? The people who make like Crusader Kings and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Well, they don't
Tencent
own.
owns about 10% of every game.
Yeah, they own 5% of Paradox. I shouldn't say they own Paradox. Apparently they're a notable investor in Roblox as well. But let's see. They're the outright owner of Sumo Group, Shark Mob, Riot Games, Layu, and Funcom. None of those. Oh, Funcom makes Conan Exiles and The Secret World and The Longest Journey series. Okay. I actually am familiar with some of your games. What else do
They
they
own 16% of From Software. To like Dark Souls and stuff.
Yeah, they own 40% of Epic Games.
That
They own
makes
40%
sense.
of Don't Nod.
Whoa, wait a second. They own like 7% of Katakawa Corporation, which is
Yeah,
like
the visual novel group, right?
visual novel, and they do anime and stuff.
Yeah. They also own 10% of Ubisoft. They own 30% of Krafton. They own 14% of Remedy. They own 20% of Marvelous, the people that make Story of Seasons and Rune Factory. They own 22% of Bloober Team, the people that made the Layers of Fear game and Observer and all that.
Yeah, they
They
own a
own
lot of shit.
fucking everything. Like I said, yeah, they own 40% of Don't Nod that make like Life is Strange and stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, apparently the new Monster Hunter is gonna have like cool environments, like weather and such, and
Okay.
you'll be able to swap between two of your weapons that you want. So you know how like normally you can only take in one huge weapon. So
Yeah.
now you can swap.
Well,
There's a
that's
bunch
cool.
of cool stuff. Me and Josh are going to definitely get that game, and if you feel like you like Monster Hunter, you should try and get it, I guess.
I have tried Monster Hunter. I've never really gotten into it, but I've tried it a couple times. I don't think it's bad or anything. I just don't.
It doesn't vibe with you.
Yeah, I like watching it more than I like playing it. But
I agree to some extent.
there's another. What was I gonna say? There's another game similar to it that was a lot more my speed, but I don't think they make it anymore. God Eater is what it was called.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one I actually liked a lot. But there's something about
I like the weapons in God Eater.
that's fair. There's something about not Dragon Age, Jesus Christ. There's something about Monster Hunter. Yeah, where it kind of feels like too like primitive. You know what I mean? Because like you are kind of like out just in these like dense jungles a lot of times, or like these big open areas and stuff. You know what I mean? So when you're in those areas and then you go back to like little towns or like shopping districts and stuff, I prefer like the God Eater stuff where there being like the bigger cities and like
Oh, you like the aesthetic of the big
Yeah,
cities?
yeah.
Okay, I can see that. I don't know what it is about Monster Hunter, but I love it. Like, I love the lore and stuff. I think the only thing that I dislike about it is that now I'm playing it on PC. I think, like, I really do think I missed the really big hype years of Monster Hunter where it was like on PSP or like DS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think Monster Hunter, like, if I went and got a DS right now, like a 3D one or whatever, I'd probably get Monster Hunter just because I feel like after playing it on PC, I feel where it's almost necessary to have a controller for it, and it probably just fits those handhelds way better. Now, not to say that like Monster Hunter World and the new one Wilds, because it's kind of like not ripping off, but it's like that the same line as World, so it's made for like home consoles.
Yeah.
Not to say they're bad, but I do I think as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate the handhelds more.
I feel that. No. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Yeah, because dating back, I used to really like my Vita back when I had one. Now that being said, I don't think I could ever get into like a Steam Deck personally.
Oh,
It's
definitely
just, like,
not.
There's too much that I would need like more screen and like options with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of just handheld gaming, yeah, I was always a big. I got the 2DS too because I specifically waited until it came out because I'd never liked the floppy, like the clamshell design
you don't
of
like the hinge.
Yeah, because it would get loose over time, like the older it got, and sometimes it would just kind of bug me. So I waited for the 2DS, and I had that, and I loved it. And then I had the Vita, and then I grew up with a PSP, but I mainly used that as like a portable MP3 player because I did not have an iPod until I was like 18.
Makes sense. Yeah, if I had to say like the biggest console I've ever used, like I've owned Xbox, like I've owned the original Xbox, the 360, and then the one. I've had a PlayStation
Xbox
2
from time to time.
But I think the console I played the most was definitely the DS because whenever I think back to playing video games as a kid, it was always something on the DS.
Yeah, I was a lot more
everywhere.
into consoles growing up, and then I got into computers, and now I kind of go between both now. But yeah, because I was always just, I mean, if y'all can't tell, all I did growing up was play video games. And so it wasn't very, yeah, I was glued to, let's see, first it was the SNES, then it was the 64, then it was the PlayStation, then it was the PS2, then it was the GameCube, then it was the Xbox, and then it was the Xbox 360, and then it was the PS3, and now it's the PS4.
Yeah. If I had to, like, I spent a lot of time on the 360, but so there's a weird like split, right? Because whenever I played DS, I was always playing like a game by myself. I never like played online, like Pokemon battles or whatever kind of, whatever. But when I started playing on the 360, I never played like a single player game. It was almost like the only reason I was willing to swap to the 360 to play games was solely to socialize with friends after we got home from school and didn't want to like go and do anything because we live so far away from each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know, I sit in that weird spot where like as a kid I used to play all these single player games, and then as soon as I had the option to play Call of Duty multiplayer with like everyone every day, it'd be like, shit, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, because that's what happened with me is I went on to Xbox 360, and then that's when I started playing online.
Yeah.
Was the 360. Well, I mean, I had played online as a kid, like on the computer. I played RuneScape with a bunch of friends, but like back then, nobody had like regularly had microphones or anything, so it was like we would all like just party call each other and just sit on speakerphone, basically.
I remember the first time I hopped in, like this is before Discord. It was when like the TeamSpeak era.
Yeah, yeah.
I fucking hate TeamSpeak.
I hate it, but I still use it because a friend of mine has to use it for work.
I hate it with a passion because I literally refused to use it after 3 like experience with it. Because my group of friends before Discord became a thing, it was like the year before Discord actually came out. They were like, hey, just use TeamSpeak, join our TeamSpeak call. I join it. It's a bunch of random people all in the same voice chat. It's like, I swear to God, it's like 10 people. I can't hear a goddamn thing. There's a guy playing the goddamn guitar like into the microphone, and everyone's just talking like it's normal. I don't know how to use any of this because it's like the old Windows XP window.
Yeah.
And it has like IP addresses and stuff. I'm like, someone just teach me how to mute this guy.
Can someone please help? Please.
Send fucking help. And everyone's just laughing. I don't like. I also at that point didn't know who I was in a game with. I just knew that my one friend was like this one guy, and he was in the game, and then everyone else was using different usernames on each platform, so I didn't know who I was playing with.
Oh, that's
It was
fair.
the most confusing shit I've ever had in my life.
It doesn't sound overwhelmingly fun.
What? What'd you say?
Said it doesn't sound overwhelmingly fun.
No, it was like sensory overload.
Oh, that's just kind of my whole life. I feel you. That's me when I walk into Walmart.
Yeah, I do. Like, my first Steam account got hacked, and it was solely because I played CS:GO. Because
What do you mean? You got someone hacked you in CS:GO? Like, what do you mean?
So, my first Steam account, because I was so young, I never used like a credit card on it. I only used Steam cards.
Yeah.
And then I bought CS:GO. Well, there's a big hacking group that only targets CS:GO accounts or accounts that owned CS:GO before it became like free.
Yeah.
So they would hack your account, get it, and then essentially use that account until it got banned to like buy crates and stuff, and then sell that crates, and they make money doing that.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That same group still does it for the new like CS:GO 2. Because I looked in my a group for a podcast I watched when they used to do like Civilization games on Steam, because I was in it. It's a Steam group. Yeah. And I clicked to page 2 of like the group that has 1,000 members. 1,000 members. The first page has like 60 people. Every page after that was just accounts that were hacked by CS:GO 2 hackers. So
good God,
1,000 minus 60, whatever that total is, all those accounts just hacked. They all have the same username, the same profile picture, and they all have CS:GO running. And I'm like, I'm leaving this group because they're targeting me.
Like it's really bullshit, but it's also hilarious that they're just like they're like, yeah, you can get bent.
Yeah, Trey actually is still friends with my account that got banned.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's like permanently banned. It's also now privated as like a private account. And I could never get it back because I never used a credit card on it. Which, thankfully I didn't, because they would have used that to get crates. But at the same time, I had a bunch of games on there. So it's kind of messed up. But luckily I had a backup account that I just took.
Well, that's fair, yeah. I'm surprised that other account never got banned then.
No, what do you mean? The CS:GO account got banned.
Oh, okay, my bad. But wait, then how is Trey still friends with it? Oh, like the Steam account.
It doesn't get taken down.
Yeah, that's fair. My bad.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's just like a heart symbol and an SV and a sad frog as the profile picture now.
Lord.
But the reason why I went on that tangent is because in the TeamViewer days, they would call me different nicknames every time. For those 3 days, I had like 5 different nicknames.
Yeah.
I was Pussy Destroyer 69.
Cuddlefuck.
No, I was Pussy Destroyer 69. I was Super Kami Guru from like a Dragon Ball abridged reference. And then I was Silly Willy. Just over the course of those days.
It's okay. No matter what people call you, you'll always just be bottom to me.
What the fuck? Okay, my friend Khalid actually told me a funny story about he has a best friend, and they talk occasionally, and like my best friend or his best friend's niece was over there at his house. And she moved there after like she turned 18 or something like that. I don't know the full story, but we do know that for some reason the niece has some like her own urban dictionary of like terms.
Okay.
And so when they were talking about like tops and bottoms, and the niece was like, "What?" And he just goes, "Yeah, it's a top." And she goes, "Oh, you mean the dicker?"
Good God.
And everyone lost their minds. And so they called her, they're like, oh my God, that is not what you call them. And she's just like, she gets shy apparently. And everyone's trying to figure out what the rest of her slang is that she has, like her urban dictionary. And she just won't say it now because I guess they laughed too hard and made her feel bad.
You made me feel bad. That's so funny though.
Yeah,
it's kind of perfect.
Amazing. It's amazing. Do we want to call this episode here?
I suppose we shall. I have some more topics, but I'll save them for the next one so that we don't just have nothing to talk about like we sometimes accidentally get ourselves into. So thank you all so much for watching and or listening. If you watch this on YouTube, you can listen to it on Spotify. If you listen to it on Spotify, you can watch it on YouTube at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast. You can find me, Zach, I thought I was going to sneeze, at Pixelated Trash on YouTube. You can also find Jacob at NazirTL on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can find us also at Twitter at the Fluffy Biscuits Podcast, extra F, because the original was taken. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.